This is a short clip from my parent membership group on Subscribestar. That's where I post my most practical and comprehensive videos. Once a month, I address common questions in the form of a topic video. And I also run live monthly Q&As where parents can submit a question and briefly talk through their situation with me. Please check out my Subscribestar to learn more about the different subscription levels. Now here's the video. So now we're going to move on to the next principle. If you've suffered at the hands of others, do not doubly punish yourself. So if a child has been the victim of bullying or harassment or sexual assault, then it's possible that their identity kind of serves an attempt to feel protected and to feel safe in their bodies. So I think we have to honor whatever attempts they're making to feel safe. So I would encourage everybody to tread really carefully if this is your child's experience. But sometimes in seeking safety, we end up kind of betraying ourselves and taking that anger out on ourselves and trying to change ourselves so that that never happens to us again. So in seeking safety, we all will have to figure out how to meet that need for safety and containment in our body, while also, being in the world and containing or remaining present in life. So I think sometimes a trans identity is really, it could be adaptive or maladaptive way to meet that need. I think sometimes a trans identity can be kind of this temporary life raft. I've talked about this a lot, that helps kids to get from point A to point B. And with the right kind of structure and the right containment around it, they could move on. And I think, of course, in a lot of cases, they get stuck there. And if it ends up moving into a place of medical interventions and things like that, that could harm them, then I think we're in really rocky territory, okay? So I like to kind of think about, what are some non-identity exploration ways that a young person can meet that need for self-containment? And I think a lot of times that looks like developing skills and resources in yourself that maybe have not been fully developed yet. So maybe that means your young person, your child, your young adult child actually needs to learn how to be authentic and really be themselves. I know that's such a trite phrase, we hear it all the time, but how can you learn to stand confidently in who you are and accept judgment? We're going to talk a little bit about accepting judgment later. For many of these people-pleasing kids, how do you learn to actually stand up for yourself? Sometimes the best way to get through a scary situation is to turn it into a joke and let it roll off your back. It's not like we can ever constantly always be in assertive mode. Sometimes we just have to get by. Sometimes we kind of fake it till we make it. If you're in an uncomfortable situation or you're not feeling confident, sometimes you just have to put on a brave face and figure out what you got to do to get through the situation. So I think here the key is there is no right or wrong way to respond to a situation that is making you feel uncomfortable, intimidated, weird, scared. So it's okay to try things out and see what works in different contexts. But I think self-compassion plays an important role here. So I'm going to talk about that in my suggested language. So here's a possible way that you can kind of bring this up with your child. And I'm just using an example of, let's say, that something happened over the summer that was really traumatic for your child, or that was scary or sexually intimidating. I know what you went through last summer was really tough on you. I could be wrong, but it seems like your identity might make you feel safer somehow. And I want you to feel safe, of course, but I wonder if you're sort of punishing your girl self in a way too. By trying to get rid of your birth gender, are you really acting from a place of self-love and self-compassion, or from a place of avoidance and fear? In my view, healing from traumatic events means we have to be really kind and really loving and really accepting towards ourselves. Do you think there are other ways you can feel safe when you're in intimidating situations? So in that example, we're really thinking about how healing from scary experiences can send us in a lot of different directions. And some of those are maladaptive, and some of those are like a second self-betrayal after some sort of harassment or abuse or something like that. So I would really encourage you to think about ways to tie in the concept of self-compassion and self-love if this is your story and you want to share something like that with your child. If you found this video helpful, you'll want to join my parent membership group, where you'll find a lot more depth and detail, along with practical parenting advice. The link is in the video description below. Thanks for watching.